Good morning, dear students. So let's start here the new chapter, chapter 17, pollution, the preventive measures. So to control the pollution, the governments of the different countries, they have taken so many preventive measures. And India also, the government of India, for this, they have passed one act, one bill actually, and it is known as Act 1981. So 1981, the government of India, they have realized the importance of this preventive measures, and so the Indian government, they have passed this bill, and this act is known as the Act 1981. Now under this act actually there are so many things are there which actually helps for the government for making the laws so that the preventive measures can be taken. So first of all, let's see here what is the meaning of the pollution prevention. Now usually we have seen about the pollution, its type, the sources, and this chapter we are going to study that how these preventive measures have been taken to control the pollution in our country by the Indian government. So first of all, this pollution prevention actually is the reduction or elimination of pollution at the source. So either the pollution can be controlled, means can be reduced, or it can be eliminated. So two things are there. Either the first thing is the reduction, and second is the elimination. So these are the two things, right? Now, so here one example I can give you, one very common example which you can see around us, and that is in the automobile. In all the four-wheelers and the two-wheelers, you will find, especially the cars, and you will find it is given there Bharat 2, Bharat 4, Bharat 5, Bharat 6 standard. Now, if you find there is one model of two-wheeler which is very common, and most of the people they know about, that is we used to buy Activa, and you have seen this one brand Activa actually is that is bike of Honda, and previously it was Activa, then they have just brought another model, another generation, they call it 3G. Then after that, next they brought the 5G, and now recently it is a 6G. Now what is this 6G, 5G, 3G? Now actually these all the automobiles, these automobile companies, usually they have to manufacture all automobiles according to a standard given by the government. So according to the standard, the government, in government actually have prepared one board. This body is known as the Central Pollution Control Board, in short form CPCB. So it is CPCB, that is Central Pollution Control Board. Now this CPCB, it decides or you can say that it just gives a parameter according to which these automobile they have to manufacture the two-wheelers and four-wheelers according to the standard, so that it can emit that amount of pollution, that amount of certain gases. So that is decided by the CPCB. So according to that, actually now at present, if any bike is not fulfilling this sixth generation, right? So they will be not given any type of registration there from the RTO. Same way in four-wheeler also you will find this standard is being set as a Bharat. Now usually it starts from Europe, so usually previously it was known as Euro 1, Euro 2, but Indian government they have just changed it and now we call it Bharat 2, Bharat 3, Bharat 4. Now it is Bharat 6 standard. So this is the one example I am giving you. This is only for the automobile sector. Same way, this CPCB, that is the Central Pollution Control Board, they are responsible for setting a parameter or a standard for the different, not only for the automobiles but also for the industries, different factories, that how much air pollution they are supposed to do, how much harmful gas they are supposed to release in the atmosphere. So this is, we are going to see about the ambient control afterwards. So this is what can be done to control the pollution. First is the reduction at the source, or second is the elimination. Now let's move here and let's see here the preventive measures. So if you will find, there are 6 preventive measures have been taken. Well, there are several measures have been taken by the government, but we are going to see in this chapter about the 4 important preventive measures that is taken by our Indian government. And the first thing is the carpooling, second one is the promotion of public transport, third is the no smoking zone, fourth is the restricted use of fossil fuels, fifth is the saving energy, and sixth is the encouraging organic farming. So we are going to see one by one, but before that, let us see about the ambient air quality standards in India, about which I already have given you some explanation. So ambient air quality. So what is this ambient air quality, as I explained you? So in India, government have set this one body known as Central Pollution Control Board, and which is responsible for setting the standard and the parameter for the different sectors, so that according to that standard they can allow to do the pollution or release the harmful gases. Well, and we have seen here, I explained you that in 1981 that act was first of all was prepared, Act 1981 we call it. So let's see here that what are the function of CPCB. So you can check there in your book also, because there is nothing to explain anything. So let's see one by one. So the first function of the CPCB is to advise the central government on any matter concerning the improvement of the quality of the air. So the central CPCB, actually they are not given the total authority, but usually what they do, they can advise the central government. Certain standard and the parameters are set, but actually they only give advice. Usually this thing is done by the government. Second thing, to plan and cause to be executed nationwide. So they are responsible for planning everything, right? How the pollution can be controlled, how to control the quality of the air, right? And they are responsible to find out the cause, what are the different causes, and to eliminate those causes. Third is to provide the technical assistance. So these CPCB, they are responsible to provide the technical assistance to the different states government, because different state government are having their own pollution control boards. So the Central Control Board, they provide the technical assistance to the different states, and they also give the guidance. Next is Next function is to carry out and sponsor the investigations and research related to the prevention, control and abatement of air pollution. So usually there is so much research work is done in every area. Without research we will not able to find out the cause, or we will not able to find out how to eliminate it, how to reduce it. So this body CPCB, they are responsible for the all research work which has been carried in the area of preventive measures which is taken for the pollution. Next is to collect, compile and publish technical and statistical data. Now for the research work, usually for every research work there is a lot of data and information is needed. So CPCB, they are responsible, they are having a data bank and they are responsible to provide all the data related to the for the research work. Now usually the research work is been carried, especially in India. There is a system actually that most of the research work, actually 90% research work is been carried by the different educational institutions, by the universities or maybe by the different institute or technical institute are there. So usually they carry all the research work. So the students, they enroll for that, and in that actually they do PhD and different research work they used to carry in the different areas, but for that they need the data. Now example, suppose if any person or any student, they have to carry a research work in the area of population. So there is a census of India provides all population data, so they can get the data from the census of India. Same way, CPCB, they are responsible to provide the data to carry the research work in the area of the pollution or related activities related to the pollution. Well, next is to lay down an annual standard for the quality of control. So time to time, the CPCB, they are responsible to lay out or modify the standard and parameter time to time. So we have seen here, these are the functions of the CPCB, and the CPCB, they are CPCB, that is Central Pollution Control Board, are responsible for the whole ambient air quality and standards, right? Now let's see here one by one the different preventive measures which has been taken or carried by the Indian government. And the first is the number one is carpooling. Now what is the carpooling? Actually this carpooling can be seen in the metropolitan cities, because in the small cities usually nobody in a means we don't have the so much large number of cars. Well, but in the cities like Delhi and in Bangalore or maybe in Mumbai and Kolkata, because the population is so big, there are very high density of population is there in these cities, and there are so many big offices and all the different industrial sectors, different types of big offices are there, in which large number of people used to work there, and all these people, everybody is having a car. So suppose in one office, if everybody comes by the car, so they will have face the problem, first of all, where to park this car. Second thing, as you can see, the car, it pollutes more. The pollution is caused more by the four-wheelers than the two-wheelers. So here, if more cars is running on the roads, so it will pollute more pollution. This is why these all the different offices and different industrial sector and different factories, they just motivate their workers so that they can start this carpooling. Now, what is carpooling? In carpooling, usually different group of people, they just make a group, and in which one person, he just, as he starts from his house, he just pick up 3-4 people more, his staff, and so because as you can see that in one car about 4 to 5 people can accommodate very easily. So by this actually 4 or 5 people, they will going to use only one car. Now, so this is called carpooling. So this has been recently it has been introduced there in all the metropolitan cities. Second thing is the promotion of public transport. Now usually if you find the different nowadays public transport means now there are, you can find especially in the metropolitan cities, there are the metro trains are there. Now these metro trains, they can accommodate large number of people at a time. So these people, they don't need to use the bikes and any type of automobile. Now there are the buses are there being run, and these buses also they run on the CNG, means the compressed gas, natural gas. So they don't cause any pollution. So usually this public transport also has been promoted in these big cities where the pollution level is very high, and even you will find the offices which are having a very large number of employees. So they are also using their own vehicles, means the big bus maybe. Bus is provided for the employees, and this bus usually use the natural gas, and it carries, just pick up all the employees there, so they don't need to use their automobile. So this is what the promotion of public transport. Now next is the restricted use of, third is the no smoking zone. Now all of you know that the smoking is very injurious to the health. Now usually what happened, usually in India it has been seen that many people who don't smoke but they are affected or means by the lung cancer. Now usually the lung cancer is common, is found usually in those people who usually means in the habit of smoking. So this is why the government has restricted these things in many areas. You can find, especially in the public places, there is you will find it is written, the boards you will find written there, no smoking zone, or maybe a sign can be seen there that shows that you are not allowed to smoke. So in all the public places now you can find usually the people, they are not allowed in the train, in the buses, or maybe in the mall, or maybe in the picture hall, right, in the park. So usually these all places are already declared as the no smoking zone. So this no smoking zone actually it has prepared so that, why? To control the pollution, so that the other people also may not be affected by these harmful pollution, means harmful smoking. Then the fourth one is the restricted use of fossil fuel. Now what do you mean by the fossil fuel? Fossil fuel means the coal and petroleum. Now nowadays, because you will find slowly and slowly we are not using the coal, and the use of coal have become extinct, because there was a time 20 years before, 30 years back, if you go and you ask your parents, so during that time actually in every house we used to use the coal for cooking purpose. So in kitchen this coal was being used. Well, what happened? When this LPG gas was introduced by the government, and slowly in every house, now even in the villages also, the government of India, they have introduced the LPG gas, and so the use of coal and also burning of the timber or the wood, now it is going down. So these are the fossil fuel. Now again, one thing is left, that is petroleum. Still actually a large amount of petroleum usually is being used, especially in automobile sector. And for this actually, if you will find, the government of India have prepared this body, CPCB, Central Pollution Control Board, and now usually they set the parameter and they set the standard according to which the automobile, now every 4-5 years you will find, now they have to reduce the standard. And even the government of India, they have set one date, 2030. Means 2030 actually is the date given only for this, the automobile companies, they can manufacture the automobile running on the petroleum. So after 2030, all these automobile companies, they have to find out the backup plan. Backup plan means they have to do the all types of research and innovation, and they have to introduce the four-wheelers and the two-wheelers which can run only on battery. So this is how actually the government of India already have set one parameter standard, a deadline is given, and you will find after 2030 their automobile and all the two-wheelers, you will find they will all going to run only on the electricity. Means in market you will not find any bike or the four-wheelers means using the petroleum. Only those who are having the old bikes and the cars or the automobile which runs on petroleum, only those automobile you will find they are running on the roads. So this is the one. So why it has been done? This is to restrict the use of fossil fuel. Now, next is the saving energy. Saving energy. Now usually you will find here, now energy means, all of you know, petroleum and the coal and all these things are the energy sources. Now what happened, when we use more energy, even in the electricity, if you find electricity is being produced either by the hydroelectric plants, or there are the thermal power plants are there which produce electricity. But these thermal power plants, they use a lot of coal to produce the electricity. So that is why this government always will find in the different TVs channels and the newspaper, magazines, and for there are different slogans is being given, different ad you will find there, especially to save energy. Now, why the government is focusing on this issue, saving energy? Because when we will learn to use the less energy, so what will happen? There will be a less burden to produce energy, especially suppose example I am giving you the thermal power plants, because in India, especially in North India, like UP and Bihar and West Bengal, we don't have hydroelectric plants because the rivers, they don't have the waterfalls. So usually we will find the most of the electricity is produced from the thermal power plants in these states. Now this is why when we use less energy, there will be a less burden on these power plants and they will use less fossil fuel. So this is why this important point, this point is very important, saving energy. Now the last one is the, not last but F1 is the National Environmental Engineering Research Institute. In short form it is given. Sixth is the NEERI. What is NEERI? NEERI is the National Environmental Engineering Research Institute. So now under this national-wide ambient air quality network program, which is also known as the NAAQM. NAAQM means National Wide Ambient Air Quality Network Program. So this is actually, now usually what happens here, this they have set one body. This body is known as the NEERI, National Environmental Engineering Research Institute. Now this research institute actually, they are responsible for carrying all the research work related to the air quality. So this is why you will find in the important cities like Nagpur, Delhi, Chennai, Mumbai, Kolkata and Hyderabad. So these research institute, they are having the office and they collect the data from these cities and they carry all the research work. So that's why NEERI is so important, because they provide the latest research papers and the latest innovations and the things to the CPCB. Now the last one is the encouragement of organic farming. So you will see organic farming. So till here, till the sixth point, we have seen about all these measures have been taken, especially to control the air quality. But here the last one, the organic farming, let's see here. Now this doesn't focuses on the controlling of the air quality. So let's see here about the organic farming. First of all, let me explain you what is the meaning of organic farming. So usually in India, if you find the method of farming which is being carried all over the country, in every parts of the rural areas, that is known as the conventional farming. Now what is it? So in the late 1960s, that is in 1966-67, in India, Green Revolution was introduced. In this Green Revolution, the farmers, they were trained to use the chemical fertilizer, then insecticide, pesticides and lot of irrigation, and they were provided the hybrid seeds. What are the hybrid seeds? Genetically modified seeds. These seeds actually are modified in laboratory so that they can actually grow more yield. They provide more yield to the farmer. So this Green Revolution was started, and what happened? The farmer, they started the use of large amount of chemical fertilizer in their farm, in their land. Then the pesticides, insecticide was being started, being used by these farmers, and the hybrid seeds became very common. Now what happened here after the 50 years? Now, first of all, because if you will study about the Green Revolution, this Green Revolution was actually introduced, or you can say it was started from United States of America. That was in 1930. So it came to India in the late 1960s, that is in the year of 1966-67. It was introduced in India. Well, so first of all, these consequences was seen in America, and now the same thing can be seen in India also. Because as the farmers, they were using a large amount of chemical fertilizer. Now chemical fertilizer contains the inorganic chemicals. It is not organic compound. They are inorganic compounds of the different chemicals. Now these chemicals, it accumulates in the soil, and what happens? Increase the pollution level, because they are non-biodegradable substance. Now when we talk about the pesticide and insecticide, now they are toxic. They contain poison. They are poisonous substance. So as the farmers use these pesticides and insecticides to control the pest and disease in their farm, now these toxic elements gets accumulates in the soil. So since 50 years have passed, and every year, because in India farmers grow 2 crops, in many places 3 crops also, so they just use a large amount of chemical fertilizer and pesticides. And what happened in these years, large amount of these chemicals and the toxic from this pesticide and insecticides get accumulated in the soil. And so if you see the soil doesn't look dirty or polluted, but now the soil, they have been polluted because of these toxic elements. Now what happened in Punjab, because the farmers, they were growing the same crop in the same field and they are using the same chemical fertilizer and everything. Now what happens, the amount of these toxic have increased in the soil, and what happened, now as they are growing the crops, these toxic enters in the crop and enters in the whole food chain. So when the human beings, they just use the same vegetable, same potato and same crops. So what happened? They don't know the food what we are eating, how much toxic is there. And this is how you can find that in Punjab, the rate of cancer has become so high. What is the reason behind it? The reason is the farmers who have used this chemical fertilizer and pesticides in a so large amount in their farm that now the soil already have been polluted. So this is why this is a new type of farming introduced known as the organic farming. So in organic farming, usually when the agriculture is carried without using any chemical fertilizer or pesticides. So in this usually what they do, they use the manure. Manure means cow dung and that same old green manure they use in the field. And instead of the pesticide and they use the biopesticide. Now what is biopesticide? Let me just give you one example. Now you know about the neem, the leaf of the neem plant. Now it has a medicinal value. So when these leaves are used mixed in the soil, so they act as a pesticide. So they control the pest and disease in the soil. Well, so this is how I've given you one example. This same way. So this pesticide is called biopesticide. Biopesticide means they don't have any toxic elements, but they control the pest and disease. So by this actually, as the agriculture which is being carried without the use of chemical fertilizer and pesticide, instead of that the farmers they use what? Manure and biopesticide. So this type of farming is called organic farming. So I hope all of you have understood. The key features of organic farming is given there in your book. So what the first thing is the protecting the soil quality. Second, indirect provision of the crop nutrients using the soil microorganisms. Means usually what happen in the chemical fertilizer, they just provide some major nutrients. But when the farmers they use the manure, it also provides even the micronutrients. Some very micronutrients means some very elements actually which are used by the plants in a very slight amount, which is not present in the chemical fertilizer. Well, next is by growing the leguminous plant. Leguminous plants means like all the pulses are called leguminous plants. Now usually these plants they fix nitrogen in the soil, and this is how they increase the fertility of the soil. So these are some key features, and this chapter is over now. So chapter 17 is also over. Now only one chapter is left and only 3 topics are there. So 2 more sessions I will try to finish this syllabus. So all of you read this chapter and find out the difficulties.